So, Dav, nice to have you on. First of all, then, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and sort of what made you fall in love with rugby?
Yeah, so I've been playing rugby since I was about six, I think. Um, Played for a local club, which was Penarthur FC at the time. Went all the way through. I was doing both football and rugby. Obviously, loved both. And then at 16, then I think I decided to concentrate on rugby. Um, Went through the age grades with like the blues stuff and that, and then found myself in the seven setup. Yeah.
And obviously, you briefly mentioned there your time at the Blues. How did you enjoy your time with the Blues Academy, and how did that develop you as a player?
Yeah, I think the blues really helped me develop um, as a player, especially from that early age. I think the 16s is like the age grade for the academy. So I went in, started off there. So training like every morning, early hours, kind of gets you that discipline and that professional environment that you're kind of striving for. So yeah, I think that helped mature me as a player maybe, and helped develop me loads with those like 30-minute skill sessions every morning. Yeah, so I think the blues helped me a lot throughout my career, definitely.
And you also represented Wales under 20s. What did it mean for you to be able to represent your country?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I think my mum it was away at Ireland, I think, and my mum and dad flew over, so it was nice. Um, yeah, a bit of a frustrating one. That I think I was in the camp, not getting much of a look in, and then I had a nice break and got on in that Ireland game. So yeah, I was chuffed to get that cap.
And obviously, for the last few years, you've been playing sevens with the Wales. Then, how much do you enjoy that and being able to travel the world as well?
Yeah, I feel like those experiences, ones I'll never forget. Um, it's been a bit of a privilege, I guess, at such a young age, being able to travel the world and do what I love, which is just play rugby. So yeah, those memories will stay with me, and even friendships that I'll have for a very long time.
Do you have a particular favourite sevens venue?
It's a tough one. I enjoyed my time in Vegas. I think it was just it was a nuts experience. But I'd probably say that first tournament I ever did in Hong Kong, just different level. The crowd was crazy, and yeah, that's definitely probably one of the best venues on the circuit.
How much of a difference physically is it playing sevens and 50 or 15s?
Yeah, it's a whole different game. I think just the pace of it all, and I guess the physicality. If you slip off a tackle, then it's more or less a try. So I think as a smaller player, I think it suits me more to a T because it's not as physical as you get those forwards running down your channels and stuff. But then the intensity and everything else comes out, and then that's what kind of makes it that tougher game, I'd say.
Yeah, obviously it is very intense, and I've always wondered how do players like sort of their downtime before games. How do you deal with that? Because you obviously don't want to switch off too much mentally, and you want to keep that sort of arousal going until the next game. What's it like being like in between games?
Yeah, it's really tough in between games because you could have up to maybe 3 hours, or it could be as short as an hour turnaround. So it's knowing when to switch off and getting your recovery in, and doing your analysis, and then maybe having an hour's sleep even if you've got a long break. But yeah, it's really hard just to switch on and off all the time, maybe three, 4 times in one day. But I think the more you do it, the more used to it, and you kind of get your own feel and your own routine about what kind of suits you.
Do you think in that way it's sort of just as much mentally taxing as it is physically?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's mentally draining. Like you could be going into your third game of the day and your body's in absolute bits, and it's just kind of getting yourself back to that level as you were in that first game, just ready to go. I think it's really mentally draining. Yeah.
And obviously, because of COVID, then the Wales Sevens team is, I don't like to use the word scrapped, but they've thrown away all the full-time Sevens contracts. How disappointed were you with that?
Yeah, it was a huge kick in the teeth, I think, when I heard the news. It wasn't as much as a shock to me because we kind of been prepped for it. We kind of saw the way it was going to go, but even then, it was still a big blow. Yeah, sevens have been a big part of my rugby career, and I've really enjoyed my time with them. So for that to be stripped away and kind of being left with nothing was yeah, it was tough to take. But yeah, thankfully, obviously, Ebbw reached out and offered me an opportunity to come to the Premiership, which a club like Ebbw, you don't pass on an opportunity like that. So yeah, I was really pleased with that.
Yeah, you mentioned that then. What was the sort of main attraction to Ebbw?
I think just the club's history, the reputation they've got as a community and a club. I think it's probably one of the best clubs I'd say to go to in the Premiership. So when they, like I said, when they did reach out, I took the opportunity with both hands for sure.
And like, what would you say to like the fans of like Ebbw and stuff? What will you bring to Ebbw?
It's a tough question, I guess. I mean, I'm sure Ebbw have their own style of playing, so it'd be adjusting to that. But I guess maybe just some of the things I've learned on the Sevens circuit, maybe just I'd like to say a bit of pace and a bit of stepping in my game I'd like to bring to the team. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to playing a bit of rugby, to be fair.
Going back to lockdown then as well, and how have you managed to keep fit with obviously no rugby going on?
Yeah, it's been tough. I feel like, especially when you don't really know what's happening, it's hard to keep yourself motivated. Especially throughout that first lockdown, I found it hard just to keep going. But I think coming out the other end now, it's been a lot easier to kind of get yourself back out there, just do those fitness sessions you don't really want to do. But then when it's all up and running again, then you're kind of hitting it as well as you can be. Yeah. So I think that's what's kind of motivated me to keep going.
And what do you miss the most about rugby, with it not being on at the moment?
I mean, I just miss playing, even like as simple as a T&P session, playing with the boys, the social side of things. I think it's been such a big part of my life. It's been hard to not be in that environment for a full year, for sure. Yeah.
Have you found it like mentally difficult as well then? Like not obviously not playing, but not being able to like socialize with the boys or like go in a clubhouse or that. Has that been hard for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I've been working over Christmas. I did a bit of work in a warehouse in Amazon, and like just kind of that environment just made you think like I'd much prefer just to be playing a bit of rugby right now, just having something to look forward to on the weekends, a nice social or something. But yeah, I think it does take a big toll on you for sure.
And obviously you're back in the 15s game now, but what are your rugby ambitions? Would you like to take your 15s career further? Would you mind going back and playing sevens again?
Yeah, I mean, I think any rugby player would probably say their ambition is probably to make it professionally in either sevens or 15s, I guess. I'm not too sure which route I'll go, if there'll even be an opportunity to go down that sevens route again. But yeah, I think main thing for me is I'm just looking forward to getting back, playing a bit of rugby, and just kind of seeing where it goes from there, to be fair.
And then a bit more about you then to finish and like get the supporters to get to know you. What do you like to do outside of rugby?
I guess it's been tough this last year with lockdown, but definitely like kind of just meeting up with my mates, a couple of beers on the weekends, loads of downtime stuff. Even going for a kick at about. I love watching footy, so I don't mind a couple of penalties on a Friday evening or something. Yeah.
And did you have any a rugby player idol growing up, or even just a sportsman?
I think it was probably Shane Williams for me growing up. There's a lot of kids who probably say my age, but I think he was just kind of the top dog at the time. Just loved the way he played and kind of wanted to put kind of styles he played into my game as well. Yeah. And
do you have any hidden talents?
I'm quite a plain guy, to be fair, but I do dabble on the guitar now and then if I've had a couple of beers.
Sort of leads on to the next question then. Do you have a go-to karaoke song or initiation song? Or?
Again, horrible voice, but I'd probably say Dancing in the Moonlight.
And a bit of a obscure one again. What's the weirdest reason you've ever had for missing training or missing a game?
To be fair, I think I'm quite good with my game ratio, but training, the odd hangover now and then, probably just call a little sickie in if I'm feeling a bit too rough. But yeah, I'd like to think those days are over, to be fair.